Hello guys, Similar Perspective here. Welcome to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Today I just saw Lee Cronin's The Mummy and here's my review of it. So basically Lee Cronin's The Mummy stars Katie and her family. Katie gets kidnapped and she goes missing for 8 years, and after the 8 years her family finds her in this mummified state, and they take her home and a whole bunch of like creepy horror shit is happening. So first things first, the positives of this movie. The horror is pretty effective, especially the body horror. The jump scares are okay. There's some few that got me, but when it comes to like the body horror and like the way like her skin looks like frail, like her skin's peeling, like her hair is like it's coming off easily, her toenails are like coming off, and like the makeup department did a really good job in this movie because it really sells you on the whole like gross out factor of a horror movie. Because I feel like a lot of horror movies, they don't really scare you much, or they don't really make you feel like uncomfortable, and I feel like the uncomfort levels of this movie like is actually like very good. Like it's very rare that a horror movie makes you feel like uncomfortable. The last movie that made me feel uncomfortable was like Saw X that came out years ago that made me wince a little bit. So that's a big positive for me. So as a horror movie fan, like having a movie that makes you feel uncomfortable is a really big selling point. The characters were okay. The family has some good chemistry. There is this side plot about this detective is helping the family solve what happened to Katie. And another good part of this movie is that the cinematography, like the way this movie was shot, the way they take advantage of the budget, the way like the sandy desert areas look, did a very good job. The movie does not really look like it was made like on a cheap budget at all. And that's it for the positives. A negative of this movie I would say is that some of the decisions that were made, like for example, when they first find Katie and she's in this mummified state, they said her vitals are fine, but like she does not look like you could take her home. But you know, I know it's a horror movie, but it's like for them to see her in that state and say, you know what, you could take her home, was crazy to me, because she did not look like she was in any like state to go like anywhere, to be honest, but the hospital. But you know, it's a horror movie, so you gotta suspend the disbelief a little bit. Another con I would say is that the movie is 2 hours 15-20 minutes. I feel like if they shaved 20 minutes it would have benefited the film greatly, because I feel like the movie kind of drags on just a little bit. I know they're kind of deliberately trying to build up to like the mystery of what happened to Katie and what's going on, but I feel like the movie could have benefited from a shorter runtime. Also, the end of the movie was it wasn't bad. Like the third act was actually very good. Like what was going on, like the carnage, and what happened to one character. I'm not gonna spoil it, but what happened to one character at the end was very satisfying. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie compared to the most horror movies that came out this year. It's pretty high up there because the horror movies this year has been kind of decent to mid. And another thing this movie does is kind of a mixture of like different types of movies, like The Exorcist, The Omen, Wolfman, Evil Dead. And I like how they take the Mummy to do something original with it, like they did with Wolfman last year. And this movie does a better job of doing that. But I feel like this movie kind of like benefited from being more original, so trying to pull from this movie, that movie, this movie, that movie. But all in all, this movie is pretty enjoyable for me. If you're into like body horror, grotesque, uncomfortable type of horror, this movie is right up your alley. But if you're kind of like have a weaker stomach, or like you don't really like to be uncomfortable, then stay away from this movie. This movie will not be for you, because you're not going to enjoy it. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. And if you guys have seen Lee Cronin's The Mummy, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. But if you're a horror movie fan, 2 thumbs up for me. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to seeing the other horror movies that come out this year. And I hope you guys enjoyed it if you guys seen it. And yeah, thank you guys for everything. Thanks for the views. And subscribe if you enjoyed. Like also. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.